What is up, everybody? It's time for another Bluetooth speaker review. Today on the table, I have the Myotone Boombox. This is one of the most popular battery-powered Bluetooth speakers on Amazon right now. I just checked over 20,000 reviews. It's surprising I haven't had this on the channel yet, to be honest, because I've reviewed a lot of Bluetooth speakers. In this video today, as usual, I'm gonna unbox this, show you what comes inside, give you a breakdown of the specs and the features that you need to know about, my experience using the product, the pros, the cons, whether or not I think you should pick one up for yourself, and because it's a speaker, of course, a little bit of a sound test. Now, before we dive into things, if you're new here, thank you for joining us. If you're a subscriber, welcome back as always. We won't waste time though. Let's dive into looking at this Myotone Boombox. The biggest question that we need to answer in this video is this speaker a good option in 2023? There are a lot of portable Bluetooth speaker options on Amazon right now, especially in the under $50 price category. With this having 20,000 reviews, I'm guessing it's worthy of some of the hype. We're gonna decide that in the video. Now, I start with packaging briefly just to show you that this looks really nice, totally something you could pick up in a store, not kind of cheap knockoff crap. With 20,000 reviews, I expect this to have some sort of reputation. Not too much time to spend on packaging though. Let's open this up. Now, if you're new to the channel, I always take time to unpackage things and test them before I ever film the review, and then I put everything back how I got it so that you can see how it comes in the mail. So opening up the box, this is what you're gonna see on the top. You can see the speaker inside. It's got a piece of protective plastic over top, and then the speaker itself, oh, I got a sticker on me. There's the speaker itself, which we'll take a up close look at in just a minute. And then in the bottom of this package, you're gonna have your accessories. We may have to go at it from the other side, or if I can just pull this plastic piece out, there we go. We'll find all the accessories at the bottom. Now, first things first, we've got our little bit of a manual, and on the scale of manual to product info sheet, this is more on the info sheet side. With a Bluetooth speaker, there's not really much you need to know, but this does cover the functions if you've never owned one of these guys in the past. Along with the manual, you're also going to get a charging cable. This is still using mini or micro USB, I can't remember which one that is. It's not USB-C, which I think is probably a con for this speaker. If they're gonna do like an updated version, I would definitely recommend to Myotone to add the USB-C. These are still plenty ubiquitous, they're all around, but USB-C is just becoming the norm, so it would be nice to see. They also include an aux cable. This is a very small, very cheap 3.5 millimeter headphone jack type cable, probably not more than 3 feet in length. And if you want to go the wired route, which people are doing less and less, you can do that as an option. That's what comes inside the packaging. So taking a look at the speaker itself, the first thing I want to highlight as usual is the design. The color on this is great. Most of the speakers that I have are boring old black. Not that exciting. They have 5 different colors for this guy, and this gray that I chose, or silver, whatever this is just absolutely stunning. Would look really good on the inside of your home and on the go. So that's a pro for this Myotone Boombox. If you've owned any sort of cylindrical shaped Bluetooth speaker before, the design is pretty standard. You've got this really nice fabric that's soft and good looking on the outside, very modern. You've got the lanyard, kind of elastic cord right here for slinging on your belt or your backpack, just carrying it along with you. The end caps and the control panel back here are rubber, and this is just made to stand up to being used out and about on the road, beach, camping, backyard, garage, what have you. It's meant to stand up to the abuse. If we take an up close look at the speaker, you're gonna see these big rubberized buttons on the side right there. I'll walk through them with you real quick. The circle is gonna be your power, the plus and minus your volume. This is your true wireless pairing button, and then your Bluetooth pairing button right there. At the end of the speaker, you have your rubber cover right here, which if I can get this open, is going to cover up the charging port and the aux input. Spec-wise, this thing comes in at just under a pound, just over 7 inches in length, and just under 3 inches in diameter. It's also waterproof, specifically IPX6, which if you don't know what that means, it means it can withstand heavy, high pressure sprays from multiple angles. You wouldn't want to drag this down to the bottom of the pool and keep it there, but it does float according to the description, and if you dropped it in the pool, as long as you pulled it out relatively quickly, it would survive. I think the cylinder is the best form factor when it comes to a speaker. I have a lot of different speakers that are the same, frame. Most of them are pretty similar in size. This is the Zamcol ZK606, which is probably my most favorite and my most well-reviewed of all of the Bluetooth speakers that I've had. And this is maybe a touch bigger in diameter, and lengthwise maybe like a millimeter or two longer. So very, very similar in size. Now, Myotone does not give you any specs as far as the speaker drivers themselves. From the images, it looks like there are two, along with two passive radiators on the end. These are not actually speakers, even though they move. They just vibrate with the air pressure inside of the speaker itself. I don't know how big these speakers are on the front. I do, however, know that Myotone says this has 16 watts of power. 16 watts is not really an indicator of volume. Watts themselves just mean how much the speaker is consuming. But if you compare it to speakers in the price category, it's something you can at least use to compare them on, because small speakers like this aren't going to give you a decibel level. Of course, this wouldn't really be a portable speaker without Bluetooth, and from my testing, I found that the claims they make in the video description are true. Line of sight, you're probably going to get maybe 100 feet at the very, very extremes with nothing in between the two. Around the house with walls and furniture in your body, I think 30 feet is a very fair minimum or maximum value, for the speaker. If I have this in the living room, I can walk into the bedroom, into the laundry room, kind of from one side of the living room to the other, and it doesn't really cut out. If you're going into your garage and there's like a brick wall or something, you're gonna have issues, but for most part, if you're indoors, it's gonna be okay. Talking about Bluetooth also makes it worth bringing up that this does have TWS, or True Wireless Stereo. If you have a pair of these, they're able to link together, one for the right speaker, one for the left, and to give you kind of a doubling in, maybe not a doubling in volume, but a good bump in volume from having a set. The last spec to talk about would be the battery life. Now, the box claims 10 hours, and I think that's pretty accurate. I had this on between 1 and 2 hours a day for the course of a week, and at the end of the week, it still had charge, but I wasn't sure how empty it was, so I recharged it, and a whole week of listening for a few hours a day, no issue at all. It's gonna depend on how loud you listen to the music. The louder, the less battery life you'll have. The quieter, the longer the battery will last. Having got the specs, features, and design out of the way, let's talk about the sound quality, which is honestly probably the most important thing when it comes to a speaker purchase. Now, I'm gonna read you a few things from the actual product description so you can get an idea of what Myotone is claiming. They say it has accurate, deep bass, unique sound processing, crisp treble and mids without noticeable crackle at max volume. So how does it stand up to real world use? Well, I've had this thing on constantly for the past couple of weeks around the house while I am working in the office in the living room, more background levels, cranked it up so that my daughter could dance around the living room for a while. Just at any moment that I could find time to use this, I reached for it. And I have to say, on the whole, I'm very, very impressed. Now, whenever I review speakers, especially little ones like this, you have to keep in mind what you're gonna get sound-wise for the size of the speaker, okay? I have DJ speakers that are 12-inch woofers that, are yay big and weigh 40 pounds, and they're gonna get bass that thumps your chest. Little guys like this, all I'm looking for in a portable Bluetooth speaker is a full sound. The Myotone definitely has that. Actually, just like their claims say, there is accurate and crisp mids and highs. I really do feel like, especially at moderate volumes, that the sound is pretty neutral and pretty balanced. And the claim that there aren't crackles at max volume is actually pretty accurate. When you push this thing to the top of its volume limit, it does remarkably well at resisting muddiness and resisting distortion. That's not to say it's not there. When you push something to its max, they're not really meant to operate at that level. It's gonna sound pretty bad. When you use this, I would say anywhere, from minimum up to like 70, 80% volume, it's gonna sound pretty dang good. Once you pass 80%, it starts to struggle a little bit, but that's true of anything. This Zamcol, which I love and have used so much, same issue. If you push these speakers, they're just not going to be able to keep up. If you find that that's happening, you're gonna need a speaker with a sub or something larger. Now, let's talk about the bass response. We've got these passive radiators here as well as the drivers on the inside, and they do a pretty good job of augmenting the low end. Again, I'm not gonna get anything below 70, 80 hertz, to be honest. If you expect that, you're gonna have to get a bigger speaker. What that means is your hip hop, you'll hear kind of the mid bass and like the thump of the kick drum. You're not gonna hear the low end rumble. Same with your EDM, even your pop music or your rock music. All you're looking for is a full sound, not a a deep sound. Now, before I play some tracks for the sound demo, I did want to power up the speaker, so I'm just gonna hold the power button right there and let you hear one of my favorite features. Great startup noise.
Power on. Bluetooth mode. Device paired.
Okay, there we go. One of the best, robot voices, startup voices of any speaker. Most of them sound really bad. That one's actually kind of pleasing. I think that's the best one that I've heard. Okay, now it says device paired. It already paired to my phone. First time it's just gonna be flashing this little indicator light right there, and you're just gonna go to your Bluetooth settings in your phone, select this speaker, and away you go. Now mine's already paired, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it here. I'm gonna face the drivers, okay, which are opposite of the controls, towards my microphone, and we'll play a few royalty-free clips. So there is your sound demo. And now I come to my final thoughts on this Mayatone boombox. Is it still a strong contender for one of the better portable Bluetooth speakers on Amazon in 2023? Absolutely. Putting it alongside my Zamcall ZK606, it's definitely just as good sounding. The battery life is phenomenal. Having used this one for a long time, this one is now far outpacing this. The voice when you power it on is really nice. The 5 different color options they have, the aesthetic matters. Also really great. The only downside I have with this speaker is the micro USB instead of the USB-C, which, maybe they'll do a refresh in the future. Other than that though, it feels solid, it looks great, and it sounds even better. Go into this with the right expectations for a portable speaker as far as what kind of sound you're gonna get out of it, and I think you'll be very, very happy with it. So if you wanna grab one of these for yourself, I'll include a link down in the description. You can go buy through there, support the channel. I would of course love you for it. If you're not already, consider subscribing, ringing the notification bell, leaving a comment, and liking the video. All of those help me to keep bringing you reviews each and every week. That's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.